one female who carries a gun every day. Like seriously carries one, not like throws in their purse and leaves it in the shopping cart on accident.
My wife has an FN 502. It's just a 22, and she loves that thing. And frankly, I actually love shooting that. But she doesn't carry it because I know that she's never going to be willing to pull it out and end somebody's life. And I think that and that's one thing, like the rush of people going to get concealed carries.
Yeah.
Like, do you just want to be able to say you're carrying a weapon? Like, remember, the other aspect is you're carrying a loaded weapon, which means if somebody has more training from you, they can take it to you and end your life a lot quicker without one having their own, right? Are you willing to pull that out and end somebody's life? And I think that's the number one thing when it comes to, like gun laws and things like that. Like, as long as people understand, like, if you're carrying a weapon, like, you have to be prepared to actually utilize it and also know how to use it properly and safely. Is that something you guys talk about in your CCW?
Big time.
Yeah, big time. And we've had even people change their mind. Like, I might not carry this now.
Yeah.
But we are very, like, I think, and you're not required to. I think all you're required to is give them the law book. Like, hey, here, I provided this to you.
We spend a huge chunk of time on that.
We go pretty much page by page of the pamphlet of the laws. Like, hey, you have to be prepared for this. You can do this. You can't do this. So they have a good grasp on things. And we've had people call us, even after the fact, and we tell them, hey, you can get a hold of us. You have questions. Of course, we're not attorneys, but hey, you can talk to us, whatever. We can maybe lead you down the right road or get the answer that you need to get. But yeah, not a lot of people, but some people are like, maybe this isn't for me, but at least they feel good taking the class because they know how to use one safely. But I don't think I could shoot somebody.
Yeah. And I would say the majority of women, I know one female, who carries a gun every day. Like seriously carries one, not like throws in their purse and leaves it in the shopping cart on accident. But other than that, a lot of them are like, well, thanks. Now if I pull it out of the safe at home, at least I know what I'm doing. I can reload. Because there's little things like people are like, my husband shot. It's always the weekend before our classes. Their husbands try to teach
them ready,
which they don't need to do because we start from the ground up. It doesn't matter if you've been shooting for 30 years, like we start the basics or whatever. But just loading a magazine, like you spend all this time on the range with them. Don't load the magazines for them. Show them how to load the magazine and put it in the right way and what they're actually doing when the magazine goes in there. Because there's been times I've had people shoot their firearm like an airsoft gun. Like they'll shoot and try to rack the slide again. And it's like the proficiency is what we're looking for. We don't care if you're stacking bullseyes. We want you to be proficient when you leave. You know what I mean? So that's a big one.
Yeah, that's a conversation I've had with my wife multiple times, and even when we go to the range and things like that, like I want her to be able to fire it if she needs to. I want her to be able to understand how to use it, but also, I always tell her like if you're actually having to use this to defend yourself, like a lot of shit's gone wrong.
Yeah, and
I'm probably dead. So if you want to just drop it and run, like that's cool too. Like because people don't think about that when they. Man, carrying a weapon, dude, especially if you're doing it in like a responsible way. Like if you're a gangbanger on the east side and you're carrying one every day because you actually are just slinging rock and fucking killing people, that's one thing. But like if you're a responsible human being, like, man, there's been times where I don't even bring a weapon with me just because it's like, do I really want the responsibility of like making sure I'm paying attention to my weapon on my side or where it's at right now? Because let's be honest, unless you're carrying it every day with the intent to use it or the knowing that you have to, like a police officer or a soldier or something of that nature, like you can get pretty lackadaisical if you're just packing on your weapon every day when you leave the house and it's just there and you're used to having it. And it gets to that point where it's like, oh, it's uncomfortable. And you take it off for a second. You don't realize you just set a loaded weapon down on your desk that's 4 feet away from you and anybody
when
can
I
grab
first
it.
started carrying, I was like that a lot. I don't know how many times I left it at my parents' house going to visit. I'd put it up, and I'm like, I left my gun again.
Hey, is my gun over there?
Yeah.
Oh, is that gun in the
I had an instance one time where I would go to the gym every morning and I would carry it with me like an idiot. And usually I would take it off and lock it in my truck before I went in. But like I went in and I was like on a bicycle or something that morning, and I took my belt off and I like strapped it to the bike next to me. And like, holy shit, did I leave my fucking thing at the call the gym? They're like, no. And I was like, what the fuck? No. I like for instant panic, like, holy shit, I left a loaded weapon somewhere I don't know where. And it's mine. What the fuck?
Were you getting army flashbacks when you left your M4 at the
yeah,
chow
right.
hall.
Like I was in like cold sweats, and then I realized I just put it in my gym bag. I was with me the whole time, but
Yeah.
like I must have called them 5 times. Like, are you sure it's not there? Like that was the scariest.
Because I'm
45
totally
minutes.
a cop. That's my cop gun.
Well, I didn't even tell there's a gun in it, but I was like, it's really important that you make sure that this weapon is not just sitting in the middle of the gym on the bicycle right
Yeah.
now. Like, but yeah, it's one of those things where it's great that you have that ability to carry a weapon, but man, you got to remember you're also carrying a weapon, and it's like,
Yeah.
For sure.
that's probably something you guys touch base on a lot.
For
Yeah,
sure.
we got to remind people that it's not an argument ender. You know, like if you're going to use the gun, like that concealed carry license doesn't grant you the right to like DMX says, if you're going to pull that, you better bust that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Figure out DMX.
yeah,
But I mean, you're right. If you're pulling that out, like that's the end of a conversation for sure. Like,
Yeah, and
that's
it's not,
You're hopefully
like,
ending a life. Not hopefully, but
people
that's the
think they
idea
can
of it.
defend their property by like pointing guns at people, and that's just not the case. Especially in like if somebody wants to come take your lawnmower, you can't hold them hostage with your gun.
Right.
Like you just,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're, they're taking your lawnmower.
They're taking your lawnmower, and
Yeah.
if you're like, I killed him, 12 people are going to be like, well, the dude wasn't armed, so you're going to prison. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
What is laws? Are you guys familiar with laws in regards to defending your property and stuff like that in
Somewhat.
Ohio?
Somewhat,
I mean, I'd imagine you guys would have to, but is the only time you're actually able to fire your weapon and to end somebody in self-defense of a real life threat? Like, is there?
Yeah,
I mean,
like you're going to lose your life or get great bodily harm caused to
Yeah.
you, basically.
or somebody else.
Or somebody
Right.
else, yeah. But not like we talk about in class, and my dad's really good at
Yeah.
doing this lecturing, but he always talks about like, I'm only pulling my gun for a select amount of people, and they have my last name. Like
Yeah.
if there's a fight in the Walmart parking lot and you don't know who started it,
Yeah.
the best thing you can pull out is your phone, call the cops.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're not the superhero because you have a concealed carry.
No.
Well, and
not
that
at
goes
all.
back to training because a lot of people probably get those CCWs and you don't ever see them again.
Right.
They're
Oh,
not,
yeah.
they're not coming back for intermediate
No,
advanced
no.
training.